So you had planes, you had cars.
Oh yeah.
Well, let me just ask you this, and man to man here, what's the favorite car that you've ever owned? Because I know you've had a lot of different cars.
Ferrari.
Ferrari?
Yeah.
Which model did you have?
308 GTSI. Our kids were young then. I don't know what I was thinking. You know, I mean, like my dad says, what are you thinking, son? You know that?
Yeah.
He said, son, let me tell you something. You are not going to be number one forever. He says, everybody thinks they're going to stay number one forever. He goes, trust me, nobody is number one forever. And he was right. Yeah. You know that. Darn is he right. So that's my dad. You know.
Yeah. Welcome to the Cigar Preacher. I'm a pastor in Arizona, and for years, I've enjoyed great conversations over cigars. Today, my guest is John Dey. John is one of the most successful people that I know. He's an engineer and a serial entrepreneur, and at the same time, he's battling a degenerative disease. But what impresses me about John is his attitude and outlook. This dude is like a freight train. He just keeps going, and it's inspiring. Join John and I as we talk about cigars, life, and what matters most. I'm Chad Moore, and I'm the Cigar Preacher. All right, John, so what's your favorite cigar?
Oh, depends. Breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Right.
How long have you been smoking cigars?
I think about 43 years.
43 years?
Yeah, long time.
How did you get into it?
I smoked Swisher Sweets as a young kid. You know what I mean? I can't count that smoking cigars.
Everybody starts on Backwoods or Swisher Sweets.
Right, Tipperillo.
Okay.
Ever heard of that before?
Is that because you saw a spaghetti western and
I had
put on a poncho and pop
that
in
was
your
my
mouth?
biggest rebel, me maybe smoking a cigar, you know. I was a pretty mellow young man, so.
Do you have a best cigar memory?
My dad had Dutch Master El Presidente in the refrigerator. I know.
The refrigerator?
Yeah. But that was my dad, you know that. And so he said.
So he didn't do a humidor, he did the refrigerator?
No, the refrigerator, yeah. And
cold?
Yeah, it was cold actually. Not freezing cold, but you know, that's how my dad did it. And my dad did things his way, and I smoked a cigar with my dad, and I thought that was a cool experience.
So this is the one I'll share today. I'm in Israel.
Okay.
And I'm filming for some stuff at the church.
Yeah.
And the tour guy, we get to talking, and he's like, "Oh, you know, you like cigars?" And I'm like, "I do." And he goes, "I'm gonna take you somewhere tonight." So the film crew, we're all done, we're tired. We go and have a nice dinner. We go to the speakeasy. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you got to go online and find the password and all this. So anyway, so we're in Jerusalem. Mm-hmm. And we go in and we talk to the waitress or whatever. And I say, "Well, we'd like to have cigars." And she says, "Oh, well, let me put you on the balcony." We go out of the balcony of this place and we're overlooking Old World Jerusalem.
Very cool.
So, like, we're looking at this place that's been there for thousands of years. And, you know, we're enjoying a job well done from the last 3 days.
Yeah.
I'm the oldest guy there. It's a bunch of young guys. And we're just having cigars and chatting and laughing.
Yeah.
And looking at this city, you know, that has the footsteps of Jesus. It was like super cool.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, so that's a great cigar memory.
Yeah.
So you're part owner of the cigar shop.
I am.
Was that like a dream of yours, or did that just happen?
No, that was. I thought if I was in Oceanside, California, and there's a small cigar shop.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, wouldn't this be a cool thing to do, retire and own a cigar shop?" And then later on, then a bunch of guys, we said, "Let's get a cigar shop." I said, "Okay." So I threw some money in. Everybody threw their portion in. We've been in business for 6 years, and really no thanks to me at all. It's thanks to the general manager, Paige, and Eric, and they kind of keep the ball rolling. And every now and then I'll voice my opinion, and sometimes my opinion's strong, but I know I'm right. So that's how it works. So yeah, that's me. One thing about cigars that I've noticed, age makes no difference. Man, woman makes no difference. Size, shape, colors, it makes no difference. It's the common denominator is we all like cigars. I don't care about your income. I don't care about the car you drive. I don't care what house you live in, but I do care about the cigars you smoke. And it's kind of cool, you know. That's how I look at it. And I learned the best thing is try to be a good listener.
Yeah.
Because you'll be surprised really what you hear.
I think listening is a lost art.
Yeah, it's tough to do because you want to jump in and just slap somebody.
Yeah.
But you let them talk more and more and more, then you get their story.
Yeah.
And their story is usually pretty interesting.
You kind of get beneath the BS to the reality.
I do, yeah.
I think everybody wants to be heard.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, so one of the things that I'll say at my church sometimes is to listen is to love.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because nowadays everybody's looking at their phone. Everybody's got attention deficit disorder. You know?
Oh, yeah.
So to sit and look somebody in the eye and listen to their story is really important.
Yeah, that takes skill.
Yeah.
And compassion. And some people are so much in a hurry, they forgot to have the compassion.
Yeah.
And that's sad.
I wanted to stop by and see John in his natural habitat at his cigar bar, The Yard. Hey, man.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Welcome to The Yard.
Thank you. So you've owned The Yard for 7 years.
Yes.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing about owning a cigar shop?
Really, I just like the people that come in. And they get to be regulars, and you get to know them pretty close. So
yeah, like family?
Yeah, kind of like family. Yeah, they're a bunch of good people.
If somebody was coming in for the first time, new cigar smoker, what cigar would you recommend?
Well, I always go toward Connecticut.
Okay.
And because it's mild. And then you have to ask them how much money they want to spend on a cigar, you know. So if they want to spend, $15 on a cigar, I'll send them over to Ashton. If they want to spend $10 on a cigar, I'll probably give them a Leaf Connecticut.
So you would recommend a Connecticut, depending on what they want to spend, or maybe an Ashton?
Absolutely right. Yeah, Ashton's a great smoke. It won't knock them down and make them dizzy. So
yeah, I've been smoking. I see some right there. I've been smoking these Churchill Ashtons lately. I've been liking like a lighter.
Yeah, that's a great smoke. And then another good cigar is the Yard Cigar Bar. Their own little brand right there.
Oh yeah, I didn't know you did your own.
Yeah, it's a nice cigar. So anyway, that's the #1 selling cigar in our humidor.
Really?
Yeah, it is.
Your own official blend.
Yeah, and the taste is good.
I'm gonna get one of those today.
Yeah, it's a medium, so it's medium at best, I was told.
What's your favorite cigar?
My father, Flor de Latilis, that's back over there, and it's a sun-grown.
Let's look at it.
This right here, I smoke one of those every day.
What is this?
It's most people call it FDLA, and it's a sun-grown, great. It's mellow. That won't put you down either. When we put down, sometimes cigars will make you real dizzy, and when you get real dizzy, I was told by an older person that smoked a lot of cigars. He said, have some sugar, some candy, anything to get everything back right, and it's true. It works.
You had some success in business.
I have.
Let's talk about like what was your business? How did you get started? Some of those things.
Oh, let's see here. The business that I done real well was a photography business back in the day, and that's where you would take a snapshot of a little 110 camera, 126, and we would make enlargements out of it, and we'd sell it. And it started off door-to-door business. It's when you knock on doors. And
Was this your idea, or did you?
No. Believe it or not, my dad was in it, but with a studio program. My dad is from Yugoslavia, came over on the boat, and he did everything right in my eyes. So I said, Dad, can I try to do what you do? He said, sure, you know. He gave me a presentation, but my presentation was going door to door, and I failed at that.
Yeah, that's hard.
Oh,
Cold calling?
cold calling,
Yeah.
yeah. And I wasn't very good at it. And I wasn't that bright of a kid, but I realized the harder I worked, the smarter I got. And it worked out, you know what I mean? I worked harder and became the #1 salesman, then got involved in recruiting, training, regional manager. But I was under somebody, my dad was wise. Have somebody else manage him, because my mom didn't need any arguments.
Yeah.
You know, I just kind of followed. My dad said, follow his system. He knows how to make this work. You can make good money. I'm from the old school. And that's when I was fortunate enough to have nice cars, nice airplanes, and I made it happen, you know, my way.
Okay, so we went from selling door to door to nice cars and nice airplanes. So it worked out, and you built this.
Yeah. It worked out real well, actually. And then eventually I had my own company.
Yeah.
And my dad always said, be careful what you wish for. He was right.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stress.
Heavy lies the head that wears the crown, right?
Oh, you betcha. And so I probably started smoking more cigars then. So I'd be out in the patio trying to think, okay, what do I got to do to keep this ship on course? You know that. It was pretty good. I did well.
Yeah.
You know.
Did you ever, did you had moments when like your net worth reached a certain point or something happened and you thought, I've arrived? I'm successful now? When was that?
I had a guy from a public corporation want to recruit me. And I'm like, wow, really? He gave me a signing bonus check. I think it was, I could be let's say 30 grand. I can't remember anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, for me? And then I said, I didn't have to do anything. I just had to sign my name on a piece of paper saying I'll come work for you. And that was pretty cool. That was a big moment. I told my wife, can you imagine I get these checks every week? But they never happened every week.
Yeah.
But it was great. It was a good moment. You know, I had some great moments. And then when you're young, and I thought having something bigger, better, faster was the key to happiness. I almost believed that. And then you realize how wrong you are. Don't get me wrong. If you can have a choice of having money and no money, and all things being equal, I'll take some money. But if you have a chance of being happy or sad, what are you going to take?
Yeah, happy.
Happiness. Healthy or unhealthy, you're going to take, you know, health all day long.
Sure.
But if you don't have your health, you figure out you don't have really a lot of money then, because your focus is strictly on getting better.
So you had planes, you had cars.
Oh yeah.
All right, let me just ask you this, and man to man here. What's the favorite car that you've ever owned? Because I know you've had a lot of different cars. Ferrari.
Yeah.
Which model did you have?
308 GTSI. And our kids were young then. I don't know what I was thinking. You know, I mean, like my dad says, what are you thinking, son? You know that?
Yeah.
We had a big, beautiful home.
Well, I tell you what I'd be thinking. I can afford a Ferrari. I'm going to go
get
one.
Well, again, see where my dad grew up.
Oh, well, sure. He's from Yugoslavia.
Yeah, Yugoslavia. They had no food. You ate out of trash cans. There was poverty, you know. He said, son, let me tell you something. You are not going to be #1 forever. He says, everybody thinks they're going to stay #1 forever. He goes, trust me, nobody is #1 forever. And he was right. You know, darn was he right. So that's my dad. You know.
Yeah. Well, I know you have this health challenge. I don't know the name of it. I don't know much about it.
And so the disease I have is called CIDP, chronic inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathy. So your blood is literally eating away your myelin sheets, kind of like MS.
Okay. It's like
but it works, but your blood, and you can still have lesions, but there's somehow, it's got lesions in the brain as MS, right? But this is your blood deteriorating your myelin sheets.
Got it.
But I was in remission for quite some time, you know that, because I would still be able to fly planes, still be able to drive a car, and then I was lifting weights, always in good shape, and then I had something popped in the back of my head, and I go, wow.
While you were lifting weights?
Yeah, I mean, it's just weird, and I got real dizzy, all vertigo.
Yeah. How old are you at this time?
Let's see, so 43. Okay. So that's when it ramped up.
That's when it hit the fan.
It hit hard. And I spent a lot of money to fly all over the country, try to get better. They told me, but I didn't want to believe them. Because if you've been in sales or if you're competitive, you always go for the answer that you want to hear.
Sure.
You're
trying to find the win.
You're trying to find the win. So as a Cleveland Clinic, UCLA Research, Mayo, Barrows.
So a couple of blunt questions.
Yeah.
So you're at this point, when you know what you've got, you're in your mid-40s.
Yeah.
Did they give you a life expectancy at that time? Or was it that heavy?
It was kind of weird. You only hear what you want to hear sometimes. One time I heard 58, and then I said, wow. Then you kind of
live to be 58.
That's what there's different things. And I got things, I said to myself, oh God, I said, well, my grandpa died at 58. My dad's sister died at 58. My dad, I'll never forget, when he was 58, he thought he was going to go, but he didn't. When I turned 58, I said, well, let's wait and see how we roll. And then I'm fine. And I say fine, but because when you don't drive in 18 years, you're not fine.
Yeah, you're very optimistic. Mm-hmm. You think that's, I mean, they were telling you 58 and all this, but yeah. I feel like you kind of will yourself to
I think
move on with it. Yeah.
You know, life's funny. If somebody put a stamp on your head and said, you're going to live to be 59, you're going to live to be able to 23 or 43 or 103. And if you really think back on it and say, well, how much nicer can you be to that person that's going to be down and out at 23? You know that. Could you treat them a little better? Could I be a better father? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A nicer, more compassionate person. And people forget about that because you never know what's going to happen.
Earlier you said you had your plan.
Yeah.
And then this.
Yeah, took away the plan. Other than you got to keep going. You know what I mean?
What was the plan?
The plan was to build up a big business. You know that, and then you'll find out you might have got it big, but if you're not working it, and you don't have the right horse in the right stall, you know that plan's not going to work because they need you. They need to see the main person.
The leader.
The leader, right.
I know you had a lot of honor, respect. Your dad was like a hero of yours.
Yeah.
So in thinking about your dad, and again, I know major influence.
Absolutely.
On your life. The stuff that you've dealt with the illness and all those kinds of things, is there something that your dad taught you that's helped you with that?
You gotta stay positive, you know, and I watched my dad suffer tremendously up until he passed. Terrible. Yeah. It was terrible. He had stomach cancer, then went to his pancreas, and then it gets everything, you know, your liver, you know, and it was terrible. But, you know, my dad was awesome. He handled it like a champ. And so if I can only be half the man my dad is, I'm okay.
Yeah. You know what I admire about you? There's, we all have different things in life. Mm-hmm. And some people, a lot of people don't have this, but some people have grit. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you got it through, you do what you got to do.
Right.
You persevere. But you're at like another level.
Oh.
Well, there's grit where you just, you deal with it.
Right.
But then there's this positivity thing that you have.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about our conversation. I just wondered how much your dad impressed that
Well, we always believed accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative.
Yeah.
And because, feeling sorry for yourself's not going to make it any better. You know that. And don't get me wrong, I've had my moments.
Well, how can you, yeah.
But
How can you not?
But no, it doesn't do you any good at all. But stay positive and look for the best. I'm always looking to way to get even better. You just never give up. Never surrender. You know that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
How long did you do martial arts?
Oh, I did it on and off.
So how high up? What black belt?
Black
were you?
belt, just first degree. First degree, and I knew enough. And
Can you whip Chuck Norris's ass right here?
I'll tell you right now, he's an old man. He can still kick my ass. You know that. But I went down to his restaurant on my 40th birthday because I want to, help him, whatever.
To Chuck Norris's restaurant.
Chuck Norris. It was called the Lone Wolf down in Dallas.
Yeah.
And my wife and I went there, and I saw him. And I said to him, he kind of looked at me kind of funny, like, I know you, you know me.
Yeah.
I said, yeah. I said, I'm Tom Thompson's student, He said, oh, that's right.
Okay, wait a minute. So you're hanging out with Chuck Norris?
Now, I can't say hanging out, but
you were best
I know
friends
him.
with Chuck Norris?
No, I'm not even there. But Tom
Walker,
Thompson.
Texas Ranger?
Yeah, but he was real nice. He gave me a cigar and bought me a cognac. At the end, we gave each other a hug goodbye, and he was still muscular, still strong, and a powerful, true, great martial art athlete.
Yeah.
The best.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Now, did you keep doing martial arts until this
I
issue
did.
you have stopped you?
Yeah, no, I did it, and I realized some things were off.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do what I used to do, and I'm thinking, seemed weird. I'll tell you the best way to find out things were off. My son was throwing a baseball, and I couldn't follow it. I'm like, wow, that's kind of weird. I told my son, paint the baseball, red, so maybe I can track it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't track it at all. I said, okay, we got to stop because I'll get hurt. Cigars calm me down, you know that. And if you had a lot of crazy things go on in your life, you want to calm down by not the way of narcotics or alcohol. You know that. I always think that's a sign of weakness. You know that. I drive my wife and kids crazy because I'll tell them that. You know that. Said, you want a wine or you want a scotch when things are stressed out? I said, no. It's a sign of weakness. I said, that's for a celebration. You know that.
Yeah.
So I drive her crazy. I drive the kids crazy. But I'll tell you how crazy I am. You probably don't want to film this, but this is pretty crazy. So with this illness, you get infections, right, all throughout your body. And I went to get my an implant done. And so I went there.
Teeth?
Yeah, teeth, right? And she opened my mouth. She took out my tongue, felt like she wrapped it around my neck and looked, and she looked like she saw a ghost. And I said, well, how's it look? She says, not sure, John. No, we're not going to do nothing today. And she goes, how about if I give you a call tomorrow, but let me do my homework on you. Okay. So I get a phone call, 6:45 in the morning, and it's this doctor. And I say, hey, this is John Dey, she's, are you sitting down? That's a terrible conversation to start. I don't care if it's your podiatrist, you know what I mean?
Well, when your doctor calls you at 6:45 in the morning and says, are you sitting down? Yeah.
Then I said, well, how's it look, doctor? You're going to end up taking all my teeth out? She didn't laugh. And she says, let me tell you what you have. You got a terrible infection, look like white hooks under the roof of your mouth. She said, my sister died from this. I said, really? And she said, I tried to do surgery on her, but she refused. I said, huh, that's weird. So she says, you're going to have to lose your teeth. I'm like, damn, Sam, really? I went in for one implant, one crown that broke and made an implant. She says, no, I'm serious. It was kind of strange. She said, I can guarantee you 2 more years of life. That's it. I'm like, wow, this is serious.
How old are you at this time?
Maybe 53?
Yeah. Early 50s.
I already been through the ringer.
Sure.
And so I had the surgery, and I think, and it hurt, but it wasn't bad. The next time, but I ended up having 5 surgeries because the infection was still in my body. But I didn't take any pain pills on one of the surgeries. I wanted to show my kids, so Joey was probably 15, maybe 14. I always tell my kids, the mind can accomplish anything if you want. So I'm going to block the pain out. And I'm coming home, there's blood all over me, And then my wife says, "You ready for your pain pill?" "Nope, it's a sign of weakness." My wife goes, "You're nuts." And I said, "No, I want to show my kids." The pain was so bad that I had to throw up, but that's okay. I was going to teach them I can get right through this with no pain meds at all. And my son's, because he's a little guy, "Dad, I swear I'll never do drugs, I'll never drink, I'll never smoke cigarettes." I said, "I just want to show you how powerful the mind is." And then my wife goes, "You're a fool. What blank's wrong with you? You're out of your mind." I said, "No, I just want to show him." So I get through all that, went to the doctor. She goes, "You're ready for your refill of pain meds?" I said, "I never took any." She says, "That is wrong. You did the worst thing you can to yourself because a pain med's supposed to help heal you." I was just trying to prove something to a teenage boy.
Yeah.
So won't do that again. So if they say you need pain meds, guess what? They're there for a reason to heal.
Ever have moments where you let yourself be vulnerable?
I was the last one to talk to my dad. He was at the house with hospice there. My dad suffered tremendously. And I'll never forget,
Did your dad take pain pills?
Yeah, my dad was normal. So I'm the strange duck.
All right, I'm just trying to find it, man. I can't find it.
But I called my dad on the phone. I didn't think I'd be able to get to him anymore. I said, "Dad?" He goes, "John?" I said, "Oh my gosh, thank God it's you." I said, "Dad, I never thought I'd hear your voice again," because they had an ambulance taking him to the hospice facility. And he said, I said, "Dad, this is just terrible." He says, "You don't want me to suffer, do you, son?" I said, "No." He said, "I've been suffering for a lot of years with this cancer." I said, "I get it." I said, "But Dad, I'll tell you," I said, "every time I look in the mirror, I see you." I said, "Every time I speak, I hear you." And I said, "Dad, you're in my heart forever." And that's when I said goodbye to my dad. And it was sad. I mean, I hated it, but I was happy he was out of pain.
Sure.
So you can look at it, you know what I mean?
Well, we're all headed in the same direction.
Yeah, that's where we want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in the realm of faith, I mean, do you ever get pissed off at God about having to deal with this?
No. Honestly, nah.
Yeah, because I think I would.
No, it's not going to do you any good. You can feel sorry for yourself. I had my moments, believe me. But no, I always have to be positive because there's so much negativity going around,
How big is gratitude to you?
It's big. I'm just like everybody. You know that?
No, you're not. Oh. You're not. Because if I had what you had, I'd be pissed off. I'd be whining about it.
Oh.
I would definitely take my pain pills.
Oh. Yeah. Well.
But you seem to choose continual gratitude and optimism.
Yeah, you got to be in life. I mean, it's a crazy illness. And so you smoke cigars, takes your mind off of it, and you realized, hey, it's a good life. Wasn't the one I planned, but it's good. As long as the kids and the wife and the grandkids are healthy, what else can a man ask for, right? So
I want to thank John for joining us today. And what blows me away about John is his mindset, his attitude. And that's a lesson for all of us. All of us need to be thinking about what we're thinking about. Join us next time as we talk about cigars, life, and what matters most on the Cigar Preacher.